What makes a muscle car truly great? Is it power? Style? History? We've put together the ultimate list of the 33 greatest muscle cars ever, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for some surprises. Dodge Challenger. Hellcat. Ever wonder what happens when muscle meets modern madness? The Dodge Challenger Hellcat isn't just a car. It's a beast roaring to life from the golden age of muscle. Back in the day, Mopar's legendary 426, Hemi 5.8 was the heart of America's fiercest rides. Then, the oil crisis hit, but Dodge never quit. Fast forward to 2015, and the Hellcat ignited a new flame with insane horsepower. The 2023 Demon 170 cranks out a jaw-dropping 1,025 horsepower, rocketing 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds, 1.66 seconds. This isn't just muscle. It's muscle on steroids, marking the last big roar before electric muscle takes over. Dodge Viper. Before the Viper, the Corvette was king. But Chrysler shook the throne with a wild new Challenger in 1989. The Dodge Viper was raw, brutal, and unapologetically fast. Early models. No airbags, no AC, just pure adrenaline with ragtop roadsters and flimsy plastic windows. The 1996 GTS Coupe. A design masterpiece, sleek and savage. The Viper kept evolving, adding ABS, and refining the beast through the 2010s. But it always demanded skill. No automatic gearboxes here. When production ended in 2017, it left behind a legacy of 32,000 cars, each one a love letter to raw American speed. 1987. Buick GNX. The 80s weren't exactly kind to muscle cars. Emissions rules choked down power, and most performance cars felt neutered. But Buick's GNX was the black sheep that roared louder. Limited to just 547 units, this Grand National Experimental was a turbocharged V6-powered sleeper, making closer to 300 horsepower and packing serious torque. Priced high for its time, it became a rare gem, proving muscle could survive in a decade of restrictions. Today, the GNX stands as a symbol of 80s resilience, a turbocharged throwback that still surprises muscle fans with its unexpected punch. 1972. Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Super Duty. Step into the early 70s, where the Firebird Trans Am ruled with European flair and American muscle. Its smooth curves and body-colored front end gave it a refined yet aggressive stance, while the cockpit-style interior made every drive feel exclusive. Under the hood, the Ram Air 4's 400 cubic inch V8 was the kingpin, delivering up to 370 horsepower in manual models. Fender flares, a shaker hood scoop, and heat extractors weren't just style. They screamed performance. Out of thousands made, only a few thousand were Trans Ams, making these cars rare trophies of a muscle car golden era. 1970. Oldsmobile 442 W30. Oldsmobile may be gone, but back in 1970, the 442 W30 was the crown jewel of GM's muscle lineup. Named for its marketing-friendly 4-barrel carburetor, 4-speed transmission, and dual exhaust. The real magic was under the hood. A massive 455 cubic inch V8 with a torque monster personality. Rated at 370 horsepower but believed to be stronger, it was quick, loud, and powerful, enough to pace the Indy 500. It wasn't just a car. It was Oldsmobile's ultimate muscle machine, combining raw power with a style that captured the era's spirit before the muscle car wave started to fade. 1970. Mercury Cyclone Spoiler 429S CJ. The Mercury Cyclone was the dark horse of the muscle car wars. Never quite the star but packing serious heat. The 1970 Cyclone Spoiler 429 SCJ was the final boo for this high-performance muscle ride, sporting aggressive front and rear spoilers, racing stripes, and a roaring 429 cubic inch Super Cobra Jet V8. Rated at 375 horsepower, many fans swear it pushed even harder. Only 341 rolled off the line, making it a rare find today. This car was a testament to Mercury's muscle legacy, bold, fast, and just a bit under the radar. 1970. Mercury Cougar Eliminator 428 Super Cobra Jet. Mercury didn't let Ford hog all the muscle glory. The Cougar Eliminator 428 SCJ was Mercury's answer to the horsepower wars, packing a heavy-hitting 428 Super Cobra Jet V8 with a blistering 400 horsepower. While the Cougar might not get as much love as its Mustang or Camaro rivals, the Eliminator variant was a serious contender on the streets and strips. With aggressive styling and a growling engine, this beast was built to dominate, proving Mercury had muscle to spare and wasn't afraid to throw down with the big boys. 1970. Ford Torino Cobra 429 SCJ. When you think muscle car, the Mustang Mach-1 often steals the spotlight, but the 1970 Ford Torino Cobra 429 SCJ quietly flexed some serious muscle of its own. Its signature Coke bottle, curves, hit a 429 cubic inch big block V8, rated at 375 horsepower but rumored to be closer to 400. This car wasn't just about looks. It could blast through the quarter mile in under 14 seconds, hitting 101 miles per hour. The Torino Cobra was Ford's wildcard muscle car, blending power and style in a package that deserves a second look from enthusiasts today. 1970. Ford Mustang Boss 429. The Boss 429 is the Mustang for serious muscleheads, not your everyday cruiser. Ford's management was skeptical, but this beast was built to win NASCAR and took no prisoners. Only around 1,300 were made between 1969 and 1970, with Carcraft stepping in to fit the giant 429 cubic inch engine into the Mustang's tight engine bay. This car was pure race weaponry disguised as a street machine, packing a powerful V8 that battled head-to-head with the legendary 426 Hemi. Today, the Boss 429 is a prized collector's gem that screams raw American muscle and racing pedigree. 1970 Ford Mustang Mach-1 428 Super Cobra Jet. The Mach-1 was Mustang's answer to the muscle wars, and by 1970 it was firing on all cylinders. Sporting a sculpted body kit that gave it a more aggressive stance, the real magic was its 428 Super Cobra Jet engine under the hood. This powerhouse pumped out 335 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque, enough to blow away most rivals. While Ford had a stable of high-performance Mustangs, the Mach-1 held its own, with a blend of style, power, and muscle car attitude that still turns heads today. 1970. Dodge Charger RT 426 Street. Hemi. If muscle cars had royalty, the 70 Dodge Charger RT with the 426 Street Hemi would be a king, with a fresh grille, chrome bumper, and a sculpted hood that demanded attention. This car looked fast, just sitting still. But it was the ferocious 426 cubic inch Hemi Viv8, making 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque that turned heads on the street. Coupled with wild, high-impact colors like Top Banana and Panther Pink, the Charger was a showstopper and a straight-line terror that dominated drag strips and street corners alike. 1970. Dodge Challenger 446-pack. The Dodge Challenger wasn't just muscle. It was a statement, and the 446-pack was the loudest one. This high-performance model featured a 440 cubic inch V8 with 3 two-barrel carburetors. The 6-pack that made 390 horsepower and 490 pound-foot of torque. That power translated to serious speed, with quarter-mile runs clocked under 14 seconds. It wasn't as legendary as the Hemi versions, but this Challenger variant was no slouch and had the muscle car chops to prove it. Pure Detroit muscle with style and power to spare. 1970 Dodge Challenger RT426. The Dodge Challenger entered the muscle car fray in 1970 with a clear mission: dominate. The RT426 model was the ultimate muscle machine, packing Chrysler's legendary 426 Hemi 5.8 under the hood. With 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque, it could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 6 seconds. A serious feat for the era. Available as both convertible and hardtop, this car combined brute power with classic muscle styling. The Challenger RT426 is muscle car royalty, a symbol of Dodge's commitment to raw performance and street dominance. 1970. Buick GSX. Buick's GSX was like a secret weapon hidden in plain sight. Introduced in 1970 as a souped-up version of the Skylark Grand Sport, it featured a 455 cubic inch V8 that pumped out 350 horsepower and a staggering 510 pound-feet of torque. That torque figure held the American production record until the Dodge Viper stormed onto the scene decades later. With a sleek, aggressive design and limited color options like Saturn Yellow and Apollo White with black racing stripes, the GSX was a muscle car for those who wanted to be bold but a little under the radar. 1970 Chevrolet Nova SS396 L78/L89. Don't let its compact size fool you. The 70 Chevrolet Nova SS was a powerhouse in a smaller package. Measuring less than 16 feet, this two-door packed Chevy's famed 396 cubic inch big block V8. There were two versions, the L78 with 375 horsepower and the lighter L89 with aluminum cylinder heads and the same power. The L89 is especially prized by collectors. Today, the Nova SS combined nimble handling with brute force, making it a favorite for those wanting muscle without the bulk. It was a compact legend that punched way above its weight. 1970 Chevy Camaro SS 396 L78. The 1970 Camaro SS 396 was the muscle car version that packed serious heat under a sleek, aggressive hood. Sporting the L78 396 cubic inch V8, which actually displays 402 cubic inches, it pushed out 375 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. This allowed the Camaro SS to hit 60 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds and max out around 138 miles per hour. A serious feat for the day. Only about 600 of these rare SS models were made in 1970, making it a sought-after beast that combined raw power with timeless Camaro style. 1970 Chevy Camaro Z/28. The 1970 Camaro Z/28 is often called the ultimate muscle car version of the Camaro, and for good reason. With its fastback design and a race-bred 350 cubic inch LT1 V8 under the hood, it churned out 360 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque. That was enough to hit 60 miles per hour in just 5.8 seconds and reach a top speed around 135 miles per hour. Built for Trans Am racing, it was all about handling and speed rather than raw brute force. Today, it's a legend among enthusiasts who want that perfect blend of style and track-ready performance. 1970 Chevy Chevelle LS6. The Chevelle LS6 is muscle car royalty. This beast packed a massive 454 cubic inch V8 that belted out 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, numbers that made it one of the most powerful muscle cars of its time. With just over 13 seconds to cover the quarter mile, the LS6 was both fast and intimidating. It had a bold, aggressive look with a semi-fastback roofline and solid muscle car attitude. For muscle lovers who crave serious power and classic Chevy style, the Chevelle LS6 stands tall as a true icon. 1970 AMC AMX 390 Go-Pack. The AMC AMX is often the muscle car underdog, but don't sleep on it. With fewer than 20,000 built, the 390 Go-Pack version packed a punch with a 390 cubic inch V8 pushing 315 horsepower and 425 pound-foot of torque. It was unique because it was one of the few American two-seat sports cars, short and nimble, with a wheelbase even shorter than the Corvettes. At around $3,500 back in the day, it was an affordable muscle machine that offered pure handling and raw power, making it a hidden gem for muscle car fans. 1970 AMC Trans Am. Special Javelin. AMC made some noise in the Trans Am racing scene with the Javelin, and the special 1970 Trans Am model is a collector's favorite. Sporting a patriotic red, white, and blue paint scheme, it was powered by a robust 390 cubic inch V8, making 325 horsepower with ram air. The car came with a heavy-duty Borg-Warner 4-speed and iconic Hurst shifter, plus comfort features like power brakes and steering. A nice blend of muscle and practicality. With only around 100 made, this Javelin is a rare slice of muscle car history. 1970 AMC Rebel Machine. The Rebel Machine stands out like a wild card in the muscle car deck. Based on the plain AMC Rebel, this fastback coupe came decked out in a bold tricolor scheme, white with red and blue stripes, signaling its serious performance intent. Under the hood was AMC's biggest engine, the 390 cubic inch V8, cranking out 340 horsepower and a hefty 430 pound-feet of torque. Only 2,326 were produced, making it a rare beast with a surprisingly big block punch. Its muscle with a unique personality, often overlooked but respected by true fans. 1970. Plymouth Road Runner. Superbird. The Superbird is the muscle car that looks like it drove straight out of a cartoon, with a nose cone and a towering 2-foot tailwing that screams speed. Built to dominate NASCAR, it could push close to 200 miles per hour on the track. Only 1,935 were made, most with the 440 cubic inch V8, but just 135 had the legendary 426 Hemi engine. Despite its radical looks, the Superbird struggled in dealerships but today commands six-figure prices at auctions, cementing its legacy as one of muscle car history's most outrageous and iconic racers. 1970. Plymouth Hemi Barracuda 426. The Barracuda started as a Mustang challenger but grew into a muscle icon, especially with the 426 Hemi engine. Known as the CUDA, it combined sleek design with a monstrous 426 cubic inch V8, making it a collector's dream. Only about 652 Hemi CUDAs were built, with just 14 convertibles, 5 of which had rare 4-speed manuals. Its perfect proportions and roaring engine helped it transcend muscle car status to legend. Just recently, a pristine matching numbers Hemi CUDA fetched $3.5 million at auction, proof that muscle car passion never dies. 1970. Pontiac GTO Ram Air. The Judge. The Judge wasn't just a nickname, it was a statement. Pontiac's wild GTO package, inspired by a comedy skit, brought bold style with bright colors, psychedelic graphics, and a rear spoiler that demanded attention. Underneath, you had serious muscle, with engine options like the 400 Ci Ram Air 4 and the rare 455 Ci HOV8, pushing 360 horsepower and a whopping 500 lb-ft of torque. With nearly 40,000 made in 1970, including just 3,797 judges, it was a perfect mix of flash and power that turned heads and shredded tires wherever it rolled. 1970. Shelby GT 500. The Shelby GT 500 marked the last of Carroll Shelby's first-generation Mustangs, packing a punch with its 428 cubic inch Cobra Jet V8. Though officially rated at 355 horsepower, the real-world output was closer to 400, making this beast a force on the street and track. The GT 500 looked the part too, with unique front and rear styling and that signature NXEO hood scoop. Only around 1,800 were made between coupes and convertibles, making it a highly coveted classic that perfectly captures the spirit of late 60s muscle, raw power, and iconic design. 1969. Chevrolet Camaro Z/28. The original Camaro Z/28 was Chevy's answer to the Mustang, built for the intense Trans Am racing scene. Powered by a special 302 cubic inch small block V8 tuned to deliver around 350 horsepower. It was all about precision and speed rather than sheer size. Light and nimble, it featured a 4-speed manual and front disc brakes, leaving power steering and AC behind to save weight. Over 28,000 were built in just a few years, cementing its status as a true performance legend and a must-have for muscle car enthusiasts. 1969. Dodge Charger Daytona. The Charger Daytona was muscle car era warrior royalty. With its massive rear wing and pointed nose cone, it was built strictly to dominate NASCAR, winning multiple races in 69 and 70. Only 503 Daytonas were ever made, just enough to qualify for racing, and many packed a powerful 440 cubic inch engine, while a handful got the coveted 426 Hemi. These rare, aerodynamic beasts are now some of the priciest muscle cars at auctions, perfectly blending brutal power with wild, unmistakable style. The Charger Daytona wasn't just a car, it was a race-winning missile. 1969 Dodge Dart GTS 440. The Dodge Dart GTS might surprise muscle car fans since the Dart name is usually associated with smaller cars. But this mid-size muscle machine packed a serious 440 cubic inch V8 delivering 375 horsepower, holding its own against bigger players. Its relatively lighter weight, meant the Dart GTS could rocket through the quarter mile in just 14 seconds. A solid performance for its class. Over time, the GTS 440 gained cult status as a sleeper muscle car. Less flashy than its Charger or Challenger siblings, but definitely a beast when it counted. 1968. Shelby GT 500 KR. The king of the road, Shelby GT 500 KR wasn't just a name, it was a promise of power. Released in '68, this beast featured a mighty 428 cubic inch Cobra Jet Ram Air V8, officially rated at 355 horsepower, but packing a bit more punch under the hood. It was heavier than previous Shelbys but didn't miss a beat in performance. With just under 1,500 units produced, the KR quickly became a legend, known for its aggressive look and track-ready capability. It was Shelby's last hurrah before moving on to new challenges, leaving muscle fans craving more. 1967. Shelby GT 500. The 1967 Shelby GT 500 was a muscle car dream come true. Bigger and badder than the GT 350, it housed a 428 cubic inch Police Interceptor engine, conservatively rated at 355 horsepower, but known to push beyond that. With just over 3,200 built, this model combined brute strength with Shelby's signature styling. Think aggressive front end, muscular stance, and performance-tuned suspension. It was a head-turner on the streets and remains a prized gem for collectors who value raw muscle paired with genuine racing heritage. 1966. Ford Galaxy 500. The 1966 Ford Galaxy 500 might not scream muscle car at first glance. It's a full-size cruiser after all. But don't let that fool you. Redesigned with stacked headlights and a fresh, aggressive look, the Galaxy was all about power and presence. Under the hood, the top-tier models packed a massive 428 cubic inch V8, known as the Police Interceptor, cranking out 360 horsepower. It came with a choice of a 4-speed manual or smooth automatic, and inside, the cabin was surprisingly luxurious for a muscle car. It was the perfect blend of muscle and comfort for the Highway King. 1964. Ford Fairlane Thunderbolt. The Fairlane Thunderbolt was Ford's secret weapon, a drag racing machine built for one purpose: to dominate the strip. Only 100 were built, and every ounce of weight was shed, swapping steel panels for fiberglass doors, hood, and bumper to shave pounds. It packed a ferocious 427 cubic inch big block V8, rated at 425 horsepower, with some automatics geared for lightning-fast launches. It wasn't about looks or luxury. It was about crushing the competition. The Thunderbolt's raw speed earned Ford the 1964 NHRA Superstock Championship, making it an iconic legend in muscle car history. 1964. Pontiac GTO. The king of muscle cars and often credited as the first true muscle car. The 1964 Pontiac GTO was the brainchild of John Z. DeLorean, and it changed everything. While its name paid homage to Ferrari's Gran Turismo Omologato, the GTO was pure American muscle with a 389 cubic inch V8 that delivered serious performance and swagger. Nicknamed the GOAT, it blended rugged good looks with a no-nonsense attitude, sparking a muscle car craze that defined the '60s. It wasn't just a car, it was a cultural icon, igniting the horsepower wars and forever changing Detroit's automotive game. Which one's your dream ride? Drop your favorite in the comments. Smash that like button if you love muscle cars, and don't forget to subscribe for more car legends and stories. Thanks for riding shotgun.